welcome to the news on Africa News 24 TV. I am Lydia Ajayi. Nigeria is once again lamenting over a brutal surge in violence as bandits struck multiple states on Sunday. In Kogi State, at a church in Yagba West, gunmen stormed during worship, abducting the pastor, his wife and several worshippers, sending the congregation fleeing for their lives. In Kano's border community of Yankamaye village, the attackers killed a woman and kidnapped 3 other women. In Sokoto's Chacho village in Wono local government area, a bride, her bridesmaids, and many guests preparing for a looming wedding were seized. Meanwhile, in Kwara State, a traditional ruler, Al-Haji Kamilu Salami, was kidnapped from his farm, and his abductors are demanding a ransom of 150 million naira for his release. The wave of attacks has widened fears across communities already traumatized by recurrent raids. In Kogi's Ejiba community, local authorities say security agencies have since intensified manhunt operations with a vow to rescue the abducted alive. In Kano, the killing and kidnappings have drawn public condemnation and renewed pressure on security agencies, including from political leaders, to act swiftly. In Sokoto and Kwara, residents wait anxiously as families plead for the safe return of their loved ones, many still unaware of the fate of those taken. The Nigerian Air Force says fresh precision airstrikes have crushed terror camps in Katsina and foiled a Boko Haram attack in Chibok, Borno. NAV spokesperson Air Commodore Eyime Ejodame says the strikes under Operation Fansan Yaman and Adinkai destroyed hideouts, killed several fighters, and blocked insurgents from regrouping. He added that the coordinated air group response helped protect residents and reflects the Air Force push to degrade terrorist network nationwide. Moving on, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has uncovered and dismantled a social media drug network operating in Lagos, where illicit substances were packaged as imported Christmas cookies and snacks. NDLEA spokesperson Femi Babafemi says operatives raided a hideout in the Lekki area, arresting 2 suspected masterminds, Deji Adesanya and Olubi Majekodumi. According to the agency, the syndicate imported Canadian Loud, a potent strain of cannabis, and packaged it in colorful designer sachets bearing cookie and snacks labels, distributing the drugs through an online platform. Moving on, former military president General Ibrahim Babangida has charged the factional People's Democratic Party national chairman Kabiru Turaki to rebuild the party, correct its past mistakes, and position it as a stabilizing force ahead of the 2027 elections. Turaki-led members of the PDP National Working Committee were on a courtesy and condolence visit to Babangida's hilltop residence in Minna, where discussions focused on party renewal and national stability. Babangida commended the party for standing with Niger State during recent security challenges and urged the Turaki faction to lead with tact, consultation, and inclusiveness. He reminded the delegation of the People's Democratic Party's strong national structures and the deep influence political parties hold in communities. In business, Dangote Refinery has announced plans to supply 50 million liters of petrol daily to the Nigerian market starting December 2025. The company said it will provide 1.5 billion liters of premium motor spirit monthly, with the volume expected to rise to 1.7 billion liters per month, about 57 million liters daily from February 2026. In a letter to the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, CEO David Bird said the refinery is ready to meet the country's domestic fuel needs and urged regulators to deploy officials on site from December 1st to verify and publish its daily production and stock levels. The company also requested support to ensure smooth clearance of crude, feedstocks, and finished products, citing frequent vessel clearance delays that increase operational costs. The pledge comes amid persistent supply challenges in the downstream sector when Nigeria has continued to rely heavily on petrol imports. The company said its planned output will boost fuel security and advance the federal government's efforts to strengthen local refinery capacity under the Nigeria's first policy. On the foreign scene, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa on Sunday dismissed United States President Donald Trump's threat to bar Pretoria from next year's G20 summit, insisting the country's position within the global forum remains secure. Speaking during a State of the Nation address, Ramaphosa emphasized that South Africa is a founding member of the G20 and reiterated its commitment to participating as a full, active and constructive member. His comments followed Washington's boycott of the November 22nd and 23rd Johannesburg summit, during which Trump repeatedly widely debunked claims that South Africa's black-led government persecutes its white minority. Trump had alleged that South Africa refused to properly hand over the rotating G20 presidency at the Johannesburg meeting, saying the country would therefore not be invited to the 2026 summit scheduled to hold in Florida. Ramaphosa also condemned as blatant misinformation Trump's assertion that South Africa is committing genocide against Afrikaners or forcibly seizing land from white citizens, claims repeatedly dismissed by independent observers. Despite the diplomatic tensions, Ramaphosa noted that U.S. companies, policy groups, and civil society organizations were actively engaged in G20-related programs hosted in Johannesburg. The president's remarks signal Pretoria's intention to preserve dialogue and cooperation with Washington, even as political relations face renewed strain. And that's all on the news at this hour. Join us at 12 noon for more updates. I am Lydia Ajayi. Good morning.